Universe 7's team arrives in the world of Void alongside teams from other universes. Vegeta and Gohan figure that their ability to fly will be an advantage so they won't get knocked off the stage, but as Whis correctly deduces, the group is unable to fly in this tournament. This restriction is only on competitors though, as Beerus, Whis, and Supreme Kai are able to fly, and it doesn't affect winged creatures from other universes as the ability is a part of them. The gravity has also been independently adjusted according to each fighter's planet, which impresses Gohan. Champa and his team from Universe 6 arrive with Vegeta already in tears from Caulifla's insults. Champa then tells the Saiyan that if he refuses to fight, he'll make her regret it, although she doesn't seem worried at all. Goku greets Hit, who correctly assumes that the tournament is a result of the Saiyan's actions, and swears not to lose to him again as he's gotten stronger since their last encounter. In the distance, Cabba explains who the Universe 7 Saiyans are to Caulifla, which includes Vegeta, who taught him to become a Super Saiyan. Frieza and Frost also meet, agreeing to team up with one another for the time being. Goku and Vegeta look toward Universe 11, assuming one of the warriors must be Jiren. Goku wanders over to say hello to Toppo and introduce himself to Jiren, who immediately dismisses Goku, stating that he's pathetic and he'd rather not waste his time on him. Goku steps away, and taking another look at their competition, Bulma deduces that compared to Jiren, every contestant in the tournament is pathetic and they shouldn't be worried. The Grand Priest greets all of the teams and introduces the two Omni Kings as Beerus, Supreme Kai, and the others take their seats, Beerus demanding that their universe's team works together. Champa and Beerus take swipes at each other's teams, while Piccolo, Gohan, and others are confused over a universe that appears to only have 8 fighters. The Grand Priest then explains the rules, as the fight will last 100 tacks, which equates to about 48 minutes in Earth time. The central pillar in the arena will descend as time passes, and the fight will officially be over when it reaches the bottom. There are no weapons allowed, killing is forbidden, and the objective is to knock the opponent out of the ring, who will then be warped into the stands afterward. The tournament begins, and as Gohan begins to prep everyone for teamwork, Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, 17, and 18 all rush out in different directions on their own. Each of them manage to immediately take out various fighters except for Goku, who's rushed by the majority of the Pride Troopers from Universe 11 all at once. Goku's forced to transform into a Super Saiyan and knocks them away, then setting his sights directly on Jiren. As all the fighters continue to clash, Frieza stops to speak with Frost, offering him a tip that the bald fighters on his team should pose no threat and could be knocked out easily. Frost questions Frieza's motives since reducing his team's numbers could result in a loss, but Frieza says that he's only concerned with revenge on the Saiyans, and Frost agrees to play along. Krillin, Master Roshi, Gohan, Piccolo, and Tien Shinhan decide to stick together, but suddenly the group is attacked by Vegeta. When the group dodge his attack, Frost takes the opportunity to knock off a distracted Krillin, eliminating him immediately. Beerus yells at Krillin once he reappears in the stands, and Champa laughs at his brother for already losing a fighter until one of his own appears, saying that he had no time to use his magic spells to avoid getting eliminated. Supreme Kai then notices that several fighters from other universes are also appearing in the stands. Back in the arena, Frost is fighting Tien and Master Roshi, preparing to eliminate them both next. Gohan notices his team having trouble and tries to help, but he's stopped by the trio of danger of Universe 9. The team of Bergamo, Lavender, and Basil attack Gohan as a group, and the young Saiyan has trouble with their teamwork. Piccolo is fighting against 3 other members of Universe 9, and Tien tells Master Roshi to dodge before he fires a Neo Tri-Beam at Frost. The blast attracts the attention of other fighters nearby, and with Tien already exhausted, Master Roshi tells him not to overdo it. Krillin wonders if the attack worked, and Beerus confirms it didn't, pointing out Frost emerging from the smoke completely unharmed. Frost then suddenly charges at Tien and lands a hard punch, eliminating him. He then directs his attention to Master Roshi, stating that he'll be the next to go. The Universe 7 spectators notice Frost conversing with Frieza, and they speculate that Frieza's leaking intel about his teammates to Frost. Krillin yells to Goku to go for Frost, as he's the biggest threat to their team, and Goku, having been preoccupied in his fight with Universe 11, is surprised that Krillin and Tien are both already eliminated. Goku then spots Frost about to attack Master Roshi and protects him, then advising that he and Master Roshi fight Frost together. However, Roshi yells at him, telling Goku to focus on his own opponent since he wants to fight Jiren. Frieza then tells Frost to pull back since Goku would likely be too much for him to handle, and the two take off. Frieza then asking Frost if he's currently in his final form, to which he answers yes. Frost is surprised to hear that Frieza has another transformation up his sleeve, and Frieza advises that Frost fight at full strength for the rest of the first half, and when he's tired out, he'll jump in and take over, which Frost agrees to. Meanwhile, Piccolo is fighting Razzle, who has him trapped and flying through the air, preparing to drop him out of the ring. Gohan, still fighting the trio of danger, notices his master in trouble and kicks out an explosive wave to knock the brothers away. Gohan then jumps into the air to save Piccolo, Piccolo, who notices this and moves his head out of the way so Gohan can land a clean hit on Razel. Gohan begins to fall out of the ring, but saves himself by firing a Kamehameha to propel himself back in. As Razel falls, he's saved by his teammate Hop's extensive claws. The remainder of Universe 9 then gather in front of Gohan and Piccolo ready to attack, but Frost suddenly zooms past the two, firing a huge blast at Universe 9 and knocking one of their members known as Oregano out of the ring. Universe 9 member Hissop suddenly appears behind Frost and attempts to crush him with a punch, but Frost overpowers the large warrior and whirls him around, knocking him into Razel and eliminating them both. Frost then turns his attention to the other warriors of Universe 9 and knocks them all out of the ring as well. With just the trio of danger remaining, they retreat to avoid being knocked out, and Frieza is impressed by Frost's performance. The tyrant says Frost has done enough and prepares to step in, but decides to give him one more piece of advice as he grabs the fighter by his throat and tells him never to trust anyone. Frieza then kicks Frost out of bounds to the surprise of Champa and the other spectators, and Whis realizes that this was all a part of Frieza's plan, using Frost to get rid of the weaker fighters. Meanwhile, Gohan and Piccolo are surrounded by the trio of danger, and Piccolo advises that he and Gohan split up, since the group are too much trouble together. Bergamo orders his brothers to follow Gohan while he follows Piccolo, and Basil and Lavender gang up on Gohan, but they're suddenly blasted and knocked off the arena by Frieza. Bergamo is the only fighter remaining from Universe 9, and he's cornered by Piccolo. Piccolo tells him to jump to spare himself the pain, but Sidra yells to Bergamo to hang in there, noting that it's the end of their universe if he's eliminated. Piccolo, hearing this, hesitates as Bergamo pleads for mercy, but Frieza suddenly knocks him off, reminding Piccolo with a smirk that this is about their own survival and he'd be wise to remember that. With Universe 9 now completely eliminated from the competition, their universe is erased by the Omni Kings, leaving just their angel. The fighters all stop their battles distracted by this, and the Grand Priest reminds them of the rules, with Supreme Kai afraid that even the gods will be erased from their universe should they lose. Amidst all the tension though, Beerus dramatically yells to his universe's warriors that losing is certainly not an option, and the remaining fighters hear him, as Goku states they'll be doomed either way if they lose. With Universe 9 now eliminated, there are now 43 minutes left in the Tournament of Power. The Gods of Destruction from the exempt universes discuss what just happened, commenting on how each universe up till now seems to have lost a few fighters, except for Universe 11, which still remains in the lead. Meanwhile, Goku as a Super Saiyan confronts Toppo and Dispo, but soon finds himself completely outmatched, unable to land a single blow to the swift Dispo, who creates an opening for his teammate Toppo, who begins to pummel Goku into the floor. As Goku begins to realize that he's running out of power, he notices Hit getting knocked down in the distance by Jiren. Goku then transforms into his perfected Super Saiyan blue form and knocks Toppo away as he rushes in to attack Jiren. However, a single ki wave from Jiren is enough to knock Goku backward towards Hit, surprising Beerus and Krillin in the spectator seats. Goku recovers and wonders if Hit was able to use his time skip on Jiren, but Hit says it proved to be useless against him. Toppo and Dispo join Jiren in order to help him fight against Goku and Hit, but Jiren tells them there's no need as he'll deal with the two by himself. Goku rushes in to attack Jiren, attempting to catch him off guard with an instant transmission, a barrage of physical attacks, and even the burst Kamehameha, but none are able to move Jiren an inch. Jiren then knocks Goku away and uses a barrage of punches on him, nearly pushing him off the edge of the arena completely. Just as he's about to deliver the final blow to the Saiyan who he addresses as the Nameless Warrior, Hit intervenes with a kick, knocking Jiren away and giving Goku the perfect chance to get back up on the arena. Noting that Hit had just landed a blow, Goku wonders if he found a way to fight without using his time skip, to which Hit states that ever since Goku had broken through his time skip during the Universe 6 and 7 tournament, he's given up merely relying on special abilities and instead learned to hone his own strength. Hit then removes his cloak and begins a physical assault on Jiren, but just like Goku, he comes up short, the Saiyan then joining in, but the two are still unable to find any advantage in the battle. Hit then tells Goku that he has a new special move, one that he can only pull off if the two work together and use their full power on Jiren. Goku gives it some thought though and regresses to his base form, telling Hit that he wants to beat Jiren on his own and that there's still a wall he needs to overcome during this tournament in order to stand a chance of winning it. Hit accepts this, but decides to continue with his plan, and after powering up, he uses a new technique called time lag on Jiren that significantly lowers his speed to the point that he can't land a blow. Hit explains that time only for Jiren has been warped, and the Angel of Universe 6 Vados explains that due to the power difference between the two, Hit wasn't able to freeze Jiren, but he could at least slow him down enough to gain an advantage. Hit is able to push Jiren to the edge of the arena with confidence, but just as he's about to knock him off off, Goku notices that Jiren has been holding back. Jiren then suddenly increases the speed of his attacks to overcome the time lag and uppercuts hit, knocking him far into the air and off of the arena, eliminating him from the competition. Goku catches Jiren's attention and acknowledges he's caught on to his plan to conserve energy for now, and Jiren states that Goku's impressively perceptive if nothing else, as the Saiyan warrior notes that he finally remembered his name.
Vegeta expresses shock that the mighty warrior Hit has been eliminated by Jiren. As Toppo and Dispo stand before the Saiyan Prince, Toppo tells him how Jiren would never fall for such tricks. Vegeta confirms that Toppo is the one who defeated Goku in the Zen exhibition match, and Dispo speaks to Vegeta, stating he's supposedly the second best warrior in Universe 7. Now riled up after hearing this, Vegeta proclaims himself as the strongest in all of existence and transforms into a perfected Super Saiyan Blue. He rushes towards the two and easily swats Dispo aside, attacks Toppo next and knocks him down. Toppo concedes that Vegeta may be on par with Goku's strength after all, but states he still won't be able to defeat them. Meanwhile, Android 17 fights against Botamo, the warrior from Universe 6, but his physical attacks seem to have no effect on his opponent. After Piccolo eliminates another fighter, he goes to assist the android, but 17 lands a mighty punch to Botamo's midsection, which causes his body to spring back and out of bounds. The two are then attacked from the air by two other fighters, but are able to avoid it thanks to Gohan, who was engaging in battle against another Universal Warrior. Along with Gohan's help, the three are able to quickly defeat the trio of warriors from Universe 10, and 17 blasts them all from the arena. The remaining 3 members of Universe 10 then band together to fight the Universe 7 trio for themselves, although they seem pretty worried. Elsewhere, Android 18 is shown talking to Ribrianne and her pals from Universe 2, as they gloat about their own beauty and call 18 ugly. Krillin, watching from the stands, finds it hard to imagine that Ribrianne would ever be considered beautiful, but Beerus admits that she is kinda cute. 18, however, doesn't care at all for this and says that it has nothing to do with one's strength. Ribrianne then launches several attacks at 18 without giving her any chance to counter, and she's grabbed up by the other members of Universe 2. Just as Ribrianne is about to finish her off, Krillin yells at them to unhand his wife, which attracts the attention of the girls, who are then shocked and ask who that gorgeous man is. 18 then states that Krillin is in fact her husband, which angers Ribrianne as she attempts to finish her off. However, her power begins wavering, giving 18 the chance to break free and quickly turn the tables on their fight. With her heart no longer in the battle, Ribrianne prepares to jump from the platform, but her friends urge her to stay. Impatient, 18 counts from 5 to give them time to either jump off willingly or be blasted. 18 is suddenly knocked off the platform herself by an unknown force. Universe 2's fighters wonder what happened, but Ribrianne's friends are then knocked from the arena at the same time. Ribrianne herself is then knocked around for a bit, then plunges from the arena into the stands by the same force that got rid of 18. The god of destruction, Quitella, then praises the timing of his invisible fighter, and the 2 remaining warriors Gohan, Piccolo, and 17 had been fighting are knocked out as well. Now aware of the presence of invisible fighters, Piccolo uses his senses to take the fighter by surprise and blast him off the edge of the ring and into the stands. Suddenly though, another invisible fighter attacks Piccolo from behind, but he attempts to counter, misses, and is hit hard in the stomach, sending him out of the arena and eliminating him. Once again confused as to what's happening, Quitella brags about their secret weapon. Gohan and Android 17 try to focus on the enemy, but 17's hit hard and skids backwards towards the edge of the platform in between Goku and Jiren's battle. And nearby Dispo suggests to Jiren that they should retreat for the time being until they're aware of who their mysterious enemy is, and the two move away from the center of the action. 17 fills Goku in on the situation, and the Saiyan suggests everyone to sense the enemy's ki. although 17 reveals that he's not able to do so. Instead, the android uses his heightened hearing abilities and is able to determine the fighter's location. And it's not an invisible fighter after all, but a bug-looking fighter, a mere inch tall, who was too small to see. Panicked, the fighter tries to flee and leaps into the air to get away, but 17 simply blasts him off the platform to eliminate him. With another fighter gone, the Omni Kings express how much fun they're having watching all the battles and ask the Grand Priest how many fighters are left. The angel then brings up a board showing the 37 remaining challengers, with only 33 minutes remaining in the Tournament of Power. Meanwhile, Frieza fights against Caulifla, having little trouble overwhelming the Saiyan. Caulifla calls him out and only going after the Saiyans, and Frieza confirms this proudly, as he may not have a grudge against the Saiyans from Universe 6 specifically, but they still got on his nerves. With no other choice, Caulifla transforms into a Super Saiyan and engages Frieza in combat again. Frieza uses his telekinetic abilities to throw blocks of the arena at Caulifla. However, her sheer aggressiveness allows her to gain the upper hand on her opponent with a powerful close-range blast. Frieza decides to use his full power and transforms into Golden Frieza. In this form, the Tyrant is able to quickly turn the tide of battle as he begins to dominate Caulifla, causing concern for the nearby Kale, who quickly knocks off a Universal Fighter to go to assist her. As Frieza pummels Caulifla into the ground, Kale uses her incredible speed to strike at him, and while it causes little damage, it distracts him long enough for Caulifla to get in a couple of shots. Eventually though, Frieza sees through Kale's actions, grabs her and tosses her out in front of him along with Caulifla. Cabba in the distance, seeing the state that his allies are in, knocks off her Universal Fighter and also rushes in to assist the pair. Frieza remarks that Kale's attacks actually had more sting to them than Caulifla's as a Super Saiyan, much to the surprise of Caulifla and Cabba, though Kale remarks they were just lucky hits. Caulifla rushes into battle once more, but it continues to be one-sided. Cabba, realizing Kale's been holding back, disregards her reasoning and tells her to use her true power, but Kale is hesitant due to her previous history and admiration for Caulifla. Cabba transforms into a Super Saiyan and enters the battle to save his comrade, but fares no better and is quickly overpowered by Frieza. Caulifla and Cabba attack together but still prove to be no match at all. The anger towards seeing someone so close to her suffer causes Kale to explode in fury as she becomes a Super Saiyan herself, surprising Caulifla as she immediately employs a vicious assault on Frieza that he's unable to defend himself against. Frieza comments on the new type of Super Saiyan that Kale's become, and suddenly Goku intercepts the battle to Frieza's annoyance. As he transforms into a perfected Super Saiyan Blue, he's able to stop Kale's first punch, but as she continues her assault, Goku begins to get pushed back, stating that she's getting stronger as she fights. As Kale attempts to land a solid blow to Goku, Frieza kicks the Saiyan out of the way and says he's more than capable of handling Kale himself if he just takes her seriously. Just then, Kale suddenly has another outburst, which Goku describes as her ki spiking once again. While Champa in the spectator seats thinks it's a good thing for that his fighter is doing so well, Vados voices her concern. She states that since this is probably the first time Kale has unleashed all of her power, she's losing her sense of reason, and with that, things could become much worse if she were to completely lose control. Kale struggles to regain her senses, having recently transformed into a legendary Super Saiyan, and charges past Goku and Frieza, clutching her head as she falls to her knees. In a rage, she powers up, with the resulting pressure of her energy knocking off multiple combatants from different universes. She then turns her attention to the nearby Vegeta and Toppo, swatting them aside and almost knocking them off the arena, but Vegeta is able to save himself and Dispo is able to save Toppo in the nick of time. Vegeta wonders what's going on with her just as she drops the remaining two combatants from Universe 4 off the arena, resulting in their defeat and their permanent erasure. In a panic, The god of destruction from Universe 3 emerges from his robotic suit and orders the combatant Paparoni to fuse with his allies to fight Kale. The scientist complies and they fuse to become the towering monster known as Agnilaza. However, Kale is unfazed and kicks Agnilaza in the chest hard enough to send him off the arena in an instant. As Universe 3 loses their last 4 fighters in one go, their universe is erased by Zeno. The tournament has reached the halfway point as the middle of the tower is 5 tacks down out of 10. As the Saiyan continues her rampage, Caulifla realizes that all this time, Kale's been keeping her superior strength hidden to protect Caulifla's feelings. Instead of getting upset at the differences in their power, Caulifla is overjoyed and encourages Kale to keep her rampage going. At the same time, Kale also eliminates the 2 final combatants of Universe 2 and they're promptly erased. From Universe 10, only one fighter is standing. Gowasu apologizes to him for failing to come up with a better strategy, and with a final battle cry, the warrior known as Obuni attacks Kale, but is easily struck off from the arena, and Universe 10 is erased for good. Fighters from Universes 6, 7 and 11 remain. As Kale slows down, Caulifla goes to check on her, but Kale knocks her hand away and charges off. Caulifla calls out to one of her teammates Magetta to stop Kale, but the Saiyan lifts him off the ground with one hand and tosses him from the arena. The 2 Namekians of Universe 6 then speak to Kale, urging her to come to her senses, as they can surely win with her level of power. But Kale answers back by simply blasting the 2 off the arena at the same time. Caulifla asks Cabba what's wrong with her, to which Cabba responds that she may be the legendary Super Saiyan, who only shows up once of every 1,000 years. He tells her that once a Saiyan is awakened, their power continues to grow and rampage until they self-destruct. Cabba transforms into a Super Saiyan and attempts to stop Kale before that happens, urging her to remember why she's fighting. But Kale is unable to rein herself in and deals a devastating punch to the Saiyan, knocking him out of the ring. Before he's eliminated though, he's caught by Vegeta, who mocks him for being tossed aside by an ally and tells him to explain what's going on. Kale continues her rampage, taking on the Pride Troopers excluding Toppo, Dispo and Jiren. They're outmatched individually, but as a team, they're able to slowly gain the advantage on the Saiyan. Vegeta, watching nearby, explains to Cabba that Kale's brute strength alone isn't enough to win, as she begins to reach her limit. Cabba pleads with Vegeta for advice on how to save his ally, but Vegeta berates him, stating that in the ring they're enemies, and he isn't there to offer aid as he heads back to finish his battle with Toppo. Caulifla approaches Cabba to come up with a plan as she pulls up her trousers. A pair of Potara fall from her pocket. Cabba wonders what they are, and Caulifla says that she stole them from the Supreme Kai of Universe 6 prior to the tournament. Champa realizes this and calls out to Caulifla, telling her to put one earring on her own ear and the other on Kale's ear so they can fuse. Caulifla expresses doubts about being able to hold Kale long enough to attach the earring, but Cabba volunteers to do it himself. As he rushes towards Kale in her battle with Universe 11's warriors, he's intercepted by Dispo and beaten with his lightning fast attacks. As Dispo prepares to finish him off, Caulifla transforms into a Super Saiyan and stops him, telling Cabba to save Kale. At that moment, Universe 11's warriors launch Kale off the arena. Cabba leaps off towards her and manages to attach the earring, then throws her back on stage and plummets in her place. With little time to act, Caulifla puts on the other earring and the two are suddenly pulled together, fusing together to become the female Saiyan warrior, now known as Kefla. Beerus exclaims that the use of tools is cheating, but the two Zeno's excitement about it allows it to go through unchallenged. Kefla declares that now the members of Universe 11 will be the ones to fall, and with overwhelming power, takes out the Pride Troopers one after another, eliminating a total of 6. As Kefla wails on Dispo and Kershaw of Universe 11, Goku is faced with Jiren, but tells him to go and help his teammates. Jiren responds by saying that it's unnecessary, which confuses Goku. As Kefla then knocks down 2 members and readies herself to take out Jiren and Goku, Kefla fires a blast towards them, but suddenly Gohan appears and knocks it aside. He tells his father to settle things with Jiren while he takes on Kefla, and as she wonders who he is, Gohan tells her that he's a Saiyan just like her, but one born on Earth. With only 15 minutes remaining and 12 fighters left in the Tournament of Power, the Supreme Kai states that Universe 7 can win if they can run out the clock and keep their numerical advantage. Beerus and Whis, however, state on how unlikely that is, as Universe 7 wouldn't think that far ahead. As Kefla battles Gohan, she's soon able to throw him to the ground where she comes down on top of him. She mocks him by yelling at him to go Super Saiyan if he can. But Gohan responds by kicking her off him, claiming that he doesn't need to do that anymore as he's chosen to evolve as a human being rather than a Saiyan. Watching him from above, Piccolo comments that in the brief period of their training, Gohan regained his sense of battle and has now become even more powerful than he has ever been. Meanwhile, Goku restarts his battle with Jiren, transforming to perfected Super Saiyan Blue and charging in. Meanwhile, Vegeta continues his evenly fought battle against Toppo, telling him that he's stronger than he appears. Toppo states that he's a God of Destruction candidate and can't possibly lose to a lesser being, then unleashes the reserves of strength he has left, but Vegeta doesn't seem worried. Android 17 compliments Master Roshi on still being in the tournament after all this time, and while he can't read energy like the others, he can still tell that he is quite strong as they ready themselves to take on the Pride Trooper pair of Dispo and Kashiral, who they view as the weakest contenders left. Frieza, on the other hand, is off in the distance, away from imminent conflict, and takes the opportunity to recover his stamina. Beerus turns to Champa, complaining about the use of Potara being used and calls him sneaky, but Champa is silent, clearly nervous about the fate of his universe. In the arena, Gohan and Kefla's battle reaches its conclusion. Both equally exhausted, Kefla laughs knowing that she's lost and couldn't even take out one Saiyan. Champa acknowledges defeat as he stands and thanks Vados for everything that she's done for him over the years. Gohan and Kefla at their limit rush towards each other for one final attack, throwing a punch on both sides and sends them off the arena, eliminating them in the process. Champa thanks Caulifla and Kel for their effort and turns to his brother Beerus, shouting and making one last face before he and all of Universe 6 are erased for good.